Hello, hello, hello. How are you today on this beautiful, beautiful day that the Lord has made? Well, I want to just say good morning to you all. And I had a subject on my heart I wanted to talk about just for a few minutes. How do we make it in this time that we're living in when it's so expensive? Rents have skyrocketed in places that rents used to be reasonable. Everything is going up. Everybody knows that food is very expensive. And even though the wages have went up some, I don't believe that they've really went up enough to meet the needs of the prices, the growing prices that we're dealing with. So anyway, looking at this car, it went real fast. So anyway, I'm at my job, and that's what I'm going to show you. I'm sorry. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a this is not my office, but on a few days a week I come here. This is like a shelter, and I come here and provide resources and whatever it is that they need. So 2 days a week I'm here. But anyway, I just wanted to talk to you about how do we survive these times. And I've been thinking about it. Of course, some of us have more than others. I'm not a person that ever made like a whole lot of money, but I've always been able to pay my bills. And but for some people that maybe have their check, and they have their rent, and rents are expensive, and they have, or maybe even a car payment or just other expenses, that there just seems to be a hard time budgeting that money. I talked to one of my coworkers, and she said one day to me, she said, sometimes I get my check and I said, well, do I buy food or do I pay my bills? And so she has children and things like that, so that's a whole nother expense. But one of the things I said for myself, is that in terms of food, I'm striving not to have a big food bill, to limit my food bill, especially like during the week. I do go out to eat and enjoy myself, and we are supposed to enjoy the fruits of our labor. We're supposed to enjoy that. So I do go out and go out to eat, go out and enjoy myself, spend money. But as far as like during the week, my everyday budget, I try to limit, unless there's a special occasion, how I spend my money. Like for instance, like I try to have like things that are reasonable but nutritious, such as maybe something like beans. And my daughter, she makes a really, really good bean soup, and she puts broccoli in it, but you really can't see too much of the broccoli, but the soup is a little greenish. It's so delicious. I don't know what all she puts in it, but that's one of the things I eat. And especially lentils. Lentils, you can mix it with rice if you want to. I don't, but just or like for lunch I might have like a sweet potato with something on it, like you have the loaded potatoes. And especially for us older people, 60 and over, we don't need a whole lot of food. Now that we're older, we don't need a whole lot of food. And I do like a whole lot of food, but we don't need a whole lot of food. So it's just different things that we can do to minimize our food budget. Those of you that have children, I believe that back in the day, families would buy big sacks of potatoes, a big thing of rice. Not that rice in a box where you just get a certain amount, a big bag of rice. And if you don't know how to cook it, learn how to cook it. I have a rice cooker, but everything's on the internet. You can learn how to cook it. And that goes potatoes and rice, things like that. You buy in bulk. That goes a long way in your budget. And we also know that Christmas is coming up. It's right here at the door, actually. And we know that a lot of people are, trying to figure out, how do I buy Christmas gifts and pay my bills? And I'm just going to say, for those of us that may have a little extra this year, I'm working a second job. I do have a little extra this year. Those of us that have a little extra this year, maybe we can help those that just don't, especially the children. I do it for the children. I do it for the children. If you know a family or a friend or a neighbor that could use a little extra something, you can get the child a gift or something like that. Especially if you know an elderly person that's probably by herself, you can get them. I know for me, there's some people, and I'm slow in doing things, so there's some people on my list that are elderly that I want to get for it. Especially my mom. My mom has passed since 2016. My dad passed 2013. And she has a good friend. She had a good friend, neighbor friends from childhood. I want to get her something for Christmas. And I haven't been keeping in touch with her like I should. But I know I tell my sisters every Mother's Day we want to get her something, just different types. But she's been on my heart, and I know I have to do better and staying in contact with her. But anyway, this is just about trying to hold on when times are tough. And one of the things is that sometimes, just say you run out of money, and I know this happens for even some of my co-workers that are just working one job or have kids or whatever the case may be. They may run out of money before the next pay comes. I've been there. I know some of you may have been there a time or two. What I've learned to do is to get a credit card and use it. Instead of asking people, can I borrow this and can I borrow that, use your credit card. Don't use all of it, but if you need a little gas for your vehicle, or you need to buy a bus ticket, or you need a little lunch or something, use your credit card. Use it sparingly, and you're borrowing from yourself. That's the way I told my daughters to do it. Now I don't do that anymore, because I have a credit card for gas. I try not to use my credit cards too much because I want to keep them, where they should be at. But what I've done now is I have a, they have Cash App, they have Chime, things like that. I have one of those. I have both of those. And so I have another little thing I do. It was volunteer work, doing people's blood pressures, monitoring their blood pressures, and it helps me with mine. Helps me to think about what I'm eating. But to monitor people's blood pressures, and I did it for free. They wasn't paying us. Now all of a sudden they decided to pay us back in July. So I have that going into my account. If I need a little something, because I have my budget. So if I need to adjust my budget a little bit, I borrow from that. And just little by little, I pay myself back, because I don't spend that. It's not a lot of money. It's almost nothing. It's not a lot. But when you let it add up, month after month after month, it gets to be a little something that you can borrow from. So I suggest something like that. If you want to get a little part-time job, just one day a week, and put it in something that you can just, when you need something, you can borrow from yourself. Or if you just need it for gas or whatever. But I just wanted to come on here because I've been hearing different people, at work, just different people in general talk about finances and how hard it is. And especially at the job I'm at, a lot of people can't afford these high rents. Rents did not used to be this expensive. I think I do have a mortgage, so, but, if I had rent, it would be tough for me. Even though, I don't live alone. I have my daughter, and thank God for her, but I don't depend on anybody to pay any of my bills. Anything somebody gives me is extra. Because if you don't have a job one day, or you decide to move up and move, I want to be able to pay my own bills. But, for some people, it may be beneficial to, this is what I suggested to some of my clients, to, we seen a 4-bedroom house. It was $1,800. It was not in a good neighborhood. It should have been $800, but it was $1,800 a month to rent. So, I said, listen, 4 bedrooms, 4 of you guys, split the rent. What? That's not even $500 a month. Then of course you do have to split the utilities, and y'all can also split the supplies like toilet paper, paper towels, things like that. At least toilet paper, and so I think it makes it easy, and everybody can have a little jingle in their pocket. So I just think that we need to look for ways that are going to be beneficial for everybody and not find yourself in a rut. If you know you really can't afford an apartment and it's just you, or maybe you and one child, maybe you can rent a room somewhere that's safe, not just anywhere, but somewhere that's safe. So I just, suggest things like that while you save. And also, I don't know if this is in every area, but in our area, we have Habitat for Humanity. So this is one of the things that I'm doing with some of my clients. I'm taking them to Habitat to sign up for that, as long as they have an income, so that they, they may be paying high rents now, but I know that that's probably not going to be good for them long term. Something along the way is going to fall. So Habitat, although they're income based, I know they used to be, so it's not like subsidized housing, but you own the house and you don't pay interest, you just pay the principal. And so they really work with you. If you fall on hard times, they work with you. They don't just, put you out. But it is your home. You do buy it. You do have to keep it for a year. And it's a brand new home. So those are just a couple of things. If you have any suggestions, I certainly I certainly would love to hear what you have to say. And the other thing is just, for those of us that may have a little extra and people are struggling, try to give them helpful hints. Let's not put our foot on our neck because maybe some are doing better than others, because we just never know what life might bring. So I just want to tell you, keep Christ first. Let him be first in your life and you'll never go wrong. All right, God bless you all. Have a great and fantastic day.